Hey guys, so my name is Annie Wallace and I am a co-founder of Team Boom. I'm also a three-star qualifying diamond coach and I want to make this video about when I was younger. So when I was younger, I wasn't the smartest person in school. I was about a B average student. I had to work really, really hard for um, my grades. I pretty much almost failed the SATs. I had a lot of things that I had to sort of get over, and I knew that with hard work that you really can achieve a lot of things. So even though I bombed the SATs and I always had to work so hard to get that B average. I literally was like middle everything in everything that I did. But I had a really strong work ethic. And one of the reasons for that was when I was little, I was 7 years old. I was um, in first grade at the time, and I remember going to my nurse, and I told her, my legs hurt, and she said, "Oh, Andrea, you're just complaining, like, you're fine, keep walking." And so I had to use all my strength to get back to my classroom. And I called my mom, and I said, "My legs really hurt." And, they said, "It's fine, just walk it off, like, you're tough." And then I got home, and I got off the bus. I crawled off the bus, and my brother was with me, and I said, you have to go get Mom." And she came and got me off the bus, and immediately I collapsed. And I was in a beanbag for 7 months. So I had the strength of squeezing, like, really softly an orange. It was in my first grade, which is when you start to read and, math and all of that. So I had to miss my the full year. All my cousins, they were the same age as me, and they were all in the same grade. So I had to repeat a year. I was diagnosed with idiopathic purpura, which is an unknown cause. And they told my mom that they thought I had child arthritis and I'd never be able to walk again. So for me as a kid, I don't really remember that much. I do remember the beginning, and I remember when they told my mom at the doctors, and I remember them putting all these like things on my head to just kind of see like what's going on with me. I'm sort of like the guinea pig because if you Google it, it's idiopathic purpura, and it's really, really rare. It's basically having to do with like an immune system. So eventually I got over that, and I was able to, go into school, and I had a really hard time being held back just for many reasons. And eventually we moved when I was in third grade, and that's when I started to eat a lot more to sort of take over like the emotional feelings that I felt from this disease of being held back and people making fun of me because I was a little bit older, about, my cousins maybe not understanding what was going on, and my friends and my family and myself in general. So I sort of like covered it up with eating, and especially with moving when you're a young kid. So my middle school years were, I was always trying to hide my body because I was a chunkier kid, and I just didn't really care about myself. I remember going to, places, and I'd get like all this food. My mom obviously tried to help me, but it was more of like an emotional eating. So it started like kind of a young age because of that. And eventually I got into sports, and, I had great friends and great family, and it was awesome. So I, got over all that. I was able to do sports and things like that. And then in 8th grade, I made the volleyball team, and it came back. Idiopathic purpura haunting me again, haunting my life. I was in a school play, and I got out of the school play, and I couldn't walk. So I'm obviously going into high school, which is, your fun years in life, and you're making your first sports team. And I knew if I worked really, really hard, I'd be able to make it. And again, I was set back a little bit, and I was eternally bleeding all over my body. And it was embarrassing. It's like your body, and you don't know what's happening, and there's really no way to sort of get over it. But it made me like really, really tough. It made me realize that I can really do anything if I worked really, really hard. So I had to like sort of learn how to walk again through crutches and some like, things like that. And eventually it went away about 8 months later. And I always have in the back of my mind, like, am I ever going to get it again? So, I went on to school and college, and I played sports, but My freshman year, I had strep throat about 4 times in the first 3 months of being in college. And it broke out like all over my body in psoriasis from stress, and it's always been this like struggle for me to sort of improve, and then I get like a setback. So um, it's made me a lot tougher, I think. So I always had in the back of my mind, like, I can do things as long as I work really, really hard. I never was handed things because I always had that eternal feeling of if I work really hard, I can get over things. So coming into Beachbody has been just such an amazing experience for me because I don't know if I'm ever going to get that again. And thankfully, I'm 30 now, so I've never had that. And I don't ever wish that upon anybody or anybody's child to one day get told that their kid can't walk again. So I'm able to do these workouts every day. I'm able to wake up and, you know, have a successful with losing weight and finding a balance between my emotional eating and able to now help other people that have maybe had similar issues that, they had setbacks in their lives, because I know what it feels like to have that and not, have to get over something. So one of the reasons why I think, I'm not totally sure why I've succeeded or still succeeding or in what I like to say, failing every day with this is because it's not something that's going to happen short term. It's something that you have to work at every single day. You have to wake up every day and know that this is your business and you have a decision if you're going to do it or not. And that was the same thing for me. I had a decision, am I going to give up or am I going to make sure that I walk tomorrow? So obviously this is a little bit lighter situation, and I've never let it hold me back, and I don't really talk about it that much, but in the back of my mind, it's something that, it makes me have a really strong why. It makes me realize that I want this so bad for other people sometimes that I need to step back and realize, they have to think about what their why is. And for me, it's the fact that every day I wake up and I'm healthy. Every day I wake up and I can help other people become healthy and figure out, what it is that they want in their lives and financial freedom. I never imagined in 3 years that I would be making a 6-figure income. No way. You start out like everybody else. I made my first month about $20, and I still do exactly what I did that first month that I decided and really committed to doing this, that I was going to be that coach that I wanted, that, I want somebody to look at me and say, I want to be that coach that Annie was to me. Because at the end of the day, that is what makes me do what I do every single day. So thanks guys for listening. Bye.